You hear it all the time. I wish I had started sooner. If only I had more time. Maybe I'll try later. But let me tell you something, it's never too late to start, to change, to grow. But that doesn't mean you have time to waste. Because while it's never too late, the longer you wait, the harder it gets. The longer you hesitate, the more opportunities you let slip away. Some of you are sitting on dreams, on talents, on ideas that could change your life, but you've convinced yourself that your time has passed, that you missed your chance, that you're too old, too far behind, too late. But let me remind you, some of the greatest success stories didn't begin early. They began when the person finally decided to stop waiting and start moving. You think you're too old? Tell that to Colonel Sanders, who started KFC in his 60s. Tell that to Stan Lee, who created Marvel Comics in his 40s. Tell that to Morgan Freeman, who didn't get his big break until his 50s. Tell that to all the people who refused to let time dictate what they could or couldn't do. But here's the flip side. Just because it's never too late doesn't mean you can afford to wait. Because every day you spend waiting is a day you don't get back. Every excuse you make, every doubt you give into is time wasted. Time you could have spent building, growing, becoming who you were meant to be. Some of you have been waiting for the right time, waiting for the stars to align, for the perfect moment, for everything to feel just right. Let me save you the suspense. That moment is never coming. There will always be an excuse. There will always be a reason to wait. But the only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful ones act. They move forward even when they're scared, even when they're unsure, even when they don't feel ready. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to start. You just have to take one step and then another. Success doesn't come from waiting. It doesn't come from hoping. It comes from showing up day after day, pushing forward, refusing to quit. Because yes, it's never too late, but don't let that fool you into thinking you have forever. Don't wake up one day realizing you spent more time making excuses than making progress. The best time to start was yesterday. The next best time is right now. Time. That thing we all chase, that thing we all think we don't have enough of. But let me tell you something. Time is an illusion. It's not your master, not your enemy, not the reason you haven't started yet. The only thing standing between you and where you want to be is the belief that you have to wait. Wait for the perfect moment. Wait for the stars to align. Wait until you feel ready. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. There is only right now. Some of you are sitting on a dream, a vision, a goal that's been eating at you for years. And every time you think about starting, you tell yourself, I'll do it next year. I'll do it when things calm down. I'll do it when I have more time. But let me ask you, what if that perfect time never comes? What if someday turns into never? Because life doesn't pause. It doesn't wait for you to feel comfortable. It keeps moving, whether you're ready or not. You think you don't have enough time? Look around. How much time have you wasted waiting? How many days have passed where you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow never came? The truth is, you don't need more time. You need to start with what you have, right now, right where you are. Success isn't about having all the answers before you begin. It's about taking the first step, even when you don't know where it's leading. It's about trusting that every small action builds momentum. Look at anybody who has achieved something great. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions. They started when they were scared, unprepared, uncertain. Somebody out there right now, with less knowledge, less talent, and fewer resources than you, is making it happen simply because they refuse to wait. They refuse to let fear, doubt, or time dictate their future. So what's stopping you? What excuse have you convinced yourself is valid? It's time to stop looking at the clock and start looking in the mirror. Time is not holding you back. Fear is. Hesitation is. And if you don't start now, when will you? You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need everything figured out. You just need to take action. Because time isn't real. The only thing that's real is what you choose to do with it. Failure hurts. It stings. It knocks you down, makes you question yourself, makes you wonder if you were ever good enough to begin with. But let me tell you something. Failure is nowhere near as heavy as regret. Failure teaches, regret haunts. Failure pushes you forward, regret holds you back. Failure is temporary, but regret lasts a lifetime. See, when you fail, at least you tried. At least you put yourself out there. At least you took the shot. And even if it didn't work out, even if you stumbled, even if you fell flat on your face, you walk away knowing, you walk away learning, you walk away stronger. But regret is wondering what could have been. Regret is looking back and knowing you never even tried. There are people out there right now sitting in jobs they hate, living lives they never wanted, stuck in the same place year after year. Not because they failed, but because they were too scared to fail, too scared to take a risk, too scared to bet on themselves. And now they wake up every day with that sinking feeling in their chest, knowing they settled, knowing they played it safe, knowing they had the chance, but they let fear win. Fear of failure is what stops most people from chasing their dreams. They don't want to look stupid. They don't want to hear people say, "I told you so." They don't want to fall short. But the people laughing at you today won't matter in 5 years. The fear you feel right now won't last forever. But the regret of not trying, that never leaves. That voice in your head, whispering, "What if?" it never stops. You can recover from failure. You can bounce back. You can rebuild. But regret doesn't give you another chance. Regret is watching someone else live the life you wanted because they had the courage to take the risks you didn't. So what's it going to be? You're going to let fear of failure keep you from even trying? Or are you going to take the shot, knowing that even if you fail, you'll never have to wonder what if? Because at the end of the day, failure isn't the thing that will break you, regret will. So fail, fall, stumble, get knocked down. But don't you dare let yourself get to the end of your life wishing you had just tried. Success doesn't check your birth certificate before it lets you in. It doesn't care if you're 20, 40, 60, or beyond. It doesn't care how long it took you to figure things out. The only thing success cares about is whether you have the courage to start. Too many people talk themselves out of their dreams because they think they missed their shot. They look at the younger generation, at people who started early, at the ones who got a head start, and they convince themselves it's too late. But let me tell you something. Success doesn't have an age limit. Colonel Sanders started KFC in his 60s. Vera Wang didn't design her first dress until she was 40s. Morgan Freeman didn't land his breakthrough role until his 50s. Ray Kroc was over 50 when he turned McDonald's into a global empire. These weren't people who had it all figured out from the start. They weren't overnight successes. They were people who decided that their time was now, no matter what the calendar said. The only reason people think success has a deadline is because they compare themselves to others. They see 20-year-old millionaires on social media, hear stories about prodigies, and assume they're already behind. But you are not in a race with anyone but yourself. Your path is yours. Your timing is yours. Just because someone else got there faster doesn't mean you can't get there at all. Some of you are sitting on dreams, on ideas, on goals you've buried deep because you think you are too old. But let me ask you this. If not now, when? If you don't go after it today, what makes you think you'll feel any different 5 years from now? The truth is, 5 years will pass anyway. 10 years will pass anyway. The question is, will you look back and be proud that you started, or will you look back and regret that you waited? Reach out when you look back and regret. Reach out when you waited. You're not too late. You're not too old. You didn't miss your chance. The only way you miss your chance is by refusing to take it. Success doesn't care how many years you've lived. It only cares what you do with the years ahead. So stop telling yourself the clock ran out. Your time is when you decide it is. And if you're still breathing, it means your time is now. Everybody wants the big win, the big moment, the overnight success. But what they don't realize is that big results don't come from big moves. They come from small, consistent steps taken every single day. Success isn't built in a day. It's built in the quiet moments when nobody's watching. It's built when you wake up early to put in the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's built when you stay disciplined, when you choose progress over comfort, when you take that one extra step, even when it feels like nothing is happening. The problem is, most people quit before they see results. They expect instant change, and when it doesn't happen, they walk away. They don't realize that every great thing they admire, every success story, every transformation, every achievement was built on a foundation of small, invisible steps. Think about a tree. You plant a seed, and for days, weeks, even months, it looks like nothing is happening. You water it, you give it sunlight, and still no sign of growth. But underground, the roots are spreading. The foundation is being built. And then one day, when you least expect it, a sprout breaks through the soil. That's how success works. You don't have to move mountains today. You just have to take one step, and then another, and then another. Write 1 page a day, and in a year you have a book. Do 10 push-ups a day, and in a year you're stronger than you ever imagined. Save a little money every week, and in a year you've built something substantial. It's not about making massive changes all at once. It's about committing to small, consistent actions that compound over time. Too many people stand still because they think the journey is too long. They look at how far they have to go and feel overwhelmed. But here's the truth. You don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You don't have to know exactly how it's going to work out. You just have to trust the process and keep moving forward. Every great success story starts with a single step. And the only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is that the successful ones keep taking those steps even when it feels like nothing is changing. So take that step today, no matter how small, no matter how insignificant it seems, because every step forward is one step closer to where you're meant to be. Small steps lead to big results, always. Excuses are the chains that keep you stuck in the same place year after year, watching opportunities pass you by. They sound reasonable. They feel justified. But in reality, they're nothing more than lies disguised as reasons. People convince themselves they don't have time, they don't have the skills, they don't have the resources. But the truth is, someone with less time, fewer skills, and fewer resources is out there making it happen because they refused to let excuses control them. How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? How many times have you looked at something you wanted to do, something you dreamed of, and thought, I just don't have what it takes? Those thoughts are what keep you stuck, not your circumstances, not your past, your excuses. The mind is a powerful thing. If you tell yourself you can't do something, you'll believe it. If you tell yourself it's too late, you won't even try. If you tell yourself you don't have what it takes, you'll never step up. But here's what most people don't realize. Excuses are a choice, just like discipline is a choice, just like action is a choice. And every time you choose an excuse, you're choosing to stay right where you are. Excuses are your choosing to choose no choice. Outside your comfort zone. Look at the people who inspire you, the ones who overcame the odds, the ones who turned nothing into something. Do you think they didn't have obstacles? Do you think they didn't have every reason to quit? The difference is they didn't let excuses win. They pushed forward when it was hard. They showed up even when they didn't feel like it. You say you don't have time, but how much time do you spend scrolling on your phone? You say you're too tired, but how much energy are you wasting on things that don't serve your goals? You say you don't know how to start, but have you even tried to figure it out? Excuses feel comfortable because they protect you from failure, from discomfort, from the unknown. But that comfort is a trap. It's the reason people wake up 10 years from now, still stuck, still wishing they had taken a chance when they had the opportunity. You can either have excuses or results, but you can't have both. So stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop convincing yourself you're not ready. Stop letting excuses steal your future. You're not stuck because you can't move forward. You're stuck because you're choosing not to. You have something inside you that the world needs, a gift, a talent, an idea, a perspective, something that no one else can bring in the way that you can. But too many people bury their gifts, hide their voices, and hold back because they think they're not good enough, not ready, not qualified. And while you sit there doubting yourself, someone out there is waiting for exactly what you have to offer. Think about it. How many times have you been inspired by someone else? Maybe it was a book that changed your mindset, a song that lifted you when you were down, a speech that made you believe in yourself again. What if that person had kept their gift to themselves? What if they had let fear silence them? The world would have been robbed of something powerful. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to show up and share what's inside you. Maybe you have a story that could change someone's life. Maybe your words could inspire someone to keep going. Maybe your creativity, your skills, your knowledge could solve a problem or make someone's day better. But none of that can happen if you keep playing small. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs you, exactly as you are. With your unique experiences, your perspective, your way of doing things. Someone somewhere is waiting for what you have. They need to hear your voice, see your work, learn from your journey. And if you don't step up, if you don't share it, they may never get what they need. Fear will tell you that you're not ready. Self-doubt will try to convince you that someone else could do it better. But the truth is, nobody else can do it your way. Your voice, your style, your message, it's one of a kind. And if you don't use it, it will go to waste. You were given your gifts for a reason. They weren't meant to be hidden. They weren't meant to be ignored. They were meant to be shared, to impact others, to leave something behind that matters. So stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. The world needs what you have, but it can only receive it if you're brave enough to give it. Motivation is great. It feels good. It gets you fired up. It makes you believe you can take on the world. But the problem with motivation, it doesn't last. One day you're feeling unstoppable, ready to conquer your goals. The next day you wake up tired, unmotivated, and suddenly all those big dreams seem too far away. That's why motivation alone will never be enough. Discipline is what separates the successful from the ones who give up. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up early when your bed feels too comfortable. It's going to the gym when you'd rather stay home. It's working on your goals when no one is watching, when there's no applause, when it feels like nothing is happening. Discipline is the thing that keeps you moving forward when motivation disappears. Most people rely on motivation, and that's why most people never achieve what they set out to do. They start strong, full of energy, but the moment they don't feel like it, they stop. They wait for inspiration, for the right mood, for the spark to come back. But the truth is, if you only work when you feel motivated, you'll never get anywhere. The real winners are the ones who show up no matter what. But think about the greats, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, leaders. Do you think they always feel motivated? No, but they don't let that stop them. They've built the habit of showing up, of doing the work, of staying committed even when it's hard. That's why they succeed. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings change. Discipline is a decision, and decisions create results. When you train yourself to be disciplined, you don't need to rely on motivation. You don't need to wait for the right mood, the perfect moment, or some external push. You just do what needs to be done. No excuses, you don't have to be the smartest, you don't have to be the most talented. But if you are disciplined, consistent, and relentless, you will always be ahead of the ones who only take action when they feel like it. So stop waiting to feel motivated. Stop looking for inspiration. Make the commitment to discipline yourself, because that's the key to real, lasting success. Motivation starts the race, but discipline is what gets you to the finish line. Tomorrow is not promised, not to you, not to me, not to anyone. Yet so many people live like they have unlimited time. They push their dreams to someday, assuming they'll always have another chance. But life doesn't work that way. Opportunities don't wait. Time doesn't wait. And the sad truth is, most people realize this too late. How many times have you said, I'll do it later? I'll start next week. I'll go after it when the timing is right. But what if later never comes? What if the perfect time you're waiting for never arrives? Because the truth is, there is no perfect time. There is only right now. Too many people waste years hesitating, overthinking, doubting themselves. They tell themselves they'll chase their dreams when they're ready, not realizing that readiness is a myth. The most successful people in the world didn't wait until they were fully prepared. They acted, they took risks, they made mistakes, learned, adjusted, and kept moving forward. You don't have forever. The people you love won't be here forever. The opportunities in front of you won't be there forever. And the biggest regret you will ever have is looking back and realizing you waited too long, that you let fear, doubt, or procrastination steal the life you could have had. If you have a goal, start now. If you have a dream, chase it now. If you need to tell someone you love them, say it now. There is no guarantee of another day, another chance, another moment. You only have this moment. And what you do with it will determine everything. Fear will tell you to wait. Comfort will convince you to stay where you are. But neither of those things will take you where you're meant to be. At the end of your life, you won't regret the things you tried and failed at. You will regret the things you were too afraid to start. Stop waiting for a sign. This is your sign. The time is now. The life you want, the goals you dream about, the impact you want to make, it all starts the moment you stop waiting and start doing. Because tomorrow is not promised. But right now is yours. What are you going to do with it?